My name is Tami Michaels. I'm an interior designer, and I'm also a licensed bonded general contractor in the greater Seattle, Washington area. Because of everything that I do, my days start very early. I was on my way to Green Lake on I-5 headed north. And typical Seattle morning, lots of stop and go traffic. All the cars around me were stopped, and I'm looking ahead, and out of nowhere, boom, this guy just rear-ended me, and I didn't see it coming. And so because of that, I felt like it was lights out.
Tammy's accident occurred about 3.5 years ago now, and I got a phone call from her, and she was in a very emotional voice telling me that she was in a bad accident and that she got hit very, very hard. And the way she was talking to me, I'd never heard her speak like that to me before.
I knew I'd hit my head. My neck was hurting, my shoulders. Everything in my spine had just completely tweaked. So I was in so much pain.
And so she was taken to the emergency room where I met her, and it wasn't really long after that that we decided that we needed an advocate to help us with the insurance companies. Something people don't realize is in their insurance policies, there's a part called PIP that is a pretty quick payout for any medical costs, but it doesn't cover very much. Even her emergency visit didn't cover the PIP coverage that we had. So we were already past that and needed help, because the insurance companies beyond that point, they're going to start to fight you. Not only the driver's insurance company that hit her, but our own insurance company as well.
I knew that I was going to need an attorney just because of all the vehicles involved. And so I knew of Davis Law Group, and I called them. And I think the thing that surprised me was the fact that they responded so quickly to me, and that the response was personal. And I also felt as if when I started talking about all the things that happened with the accident, what they said to me was, the first thing you need to do is take care of you and get well. This could be a long journey. We're not going anywhere. So you need to take care of you, and we'll take care of the rest.
Their help really goes beyond just the legal aspects of a case like this. People can't fathom the avalanche of the billings and all the coordination between these different companies. And fortunately, I could help her a bit, but it was overwhelming for me too.
I would end up seeing so many different types of spinal surgeons and head injury doctors, neurologists, and all of this was so much that I was worried about with medical expenses. It just, and on top of being injured, it's just a lot of anxiety and sleepless nights.
It was just such a relief that Davis Law Group would just say, don't worry, we've got this. We'll help coordinate things. We'll help take care of you. And that's what they did. It wasn't a surprise at all that we would have to fight the other car insurance company to get her medical expenses paid. But we really expected that our car insurance company would be much easier to cover her medical expenses and to be an advocate for her on behalf of fighting the other insurance company, and that's not the case at all. We had to fight 2 insurance companies. We knew that Davis Law Group had a great reputation, and when they said they were going to fight for us, that's what they did. During the deposition of my wife, the toughest part of that deposition was against our own insurance company's attorneys. And they tried to discredit her wherever they could. They tried to minimize her injuries. Our attorneys from Davis Law Group just battled them every stretch of the way. They were very actively engaged in the deposition in a way that I had not seen with other attorneys before. And I'm talking about some very large cases and some very large law firms. And there was a part where you could see where the other side's tactic was to confuse my wife and to get to some trick questions at the end. And their due diligence in this case, all of that was foreseen. There were no big surprises, no matter how much effort they were trying to confuse Tami and trick her up with really tough things at the end. She was fully prepared, and it just was excellent representation all the way through.
After this horrible beaten up by my own insurance company deposition, and the attorneys from Davis Law Group explaining to them that they had to cover me. They had to cover me for the full amount of the policy. So after doing all of that, I thought, well, we're not going to hear from these people forever. We're going to be in court. It was less than a week.
I think it wasn't just the strength of the case. I think the other side saw the strength and will of our attorneys to do what it was going to take to win this case. If that meant going to trial, whatever it was going to take. And they just decided to settle. Within a week or two after the deposition, they settled for the full payout.
Davis Law Group listened to us. I felt heard through the entire process. That was super important to me. I wanted to feel heard, and I was heard. I felt like I made friends at Davis Law Group. I feel as if they cared about me, my family, and the outcome of my case. I felt as if it was very important for Davis Law Group to win my case. And it was important to me, and they did.
After what Tami's been through, I would say that I just want to compliment her on how strong she's been, how she's persevered to work through these injuries with all the treatment and processes to get through all that. She's not fully recovered, but she's made amazing progress, and it just shows how strong she is, and I love her dearly. And I think the result of this case, to provide the coverage of her medical bills and taking over all this work of all this paperwork and things, has made a huge difference in our lives, and we couldn't be more grateful.